Kazakhstan for several decades has been fighting for the fate of the Aral Sea, where once there was the bottom of a huge sea now has formed a lifeless desert. Every year the wind lifts up to 150 million tons of salt from the bottom of the dried sea into the air, which even reaches mountain glaciers. Residents of settlements located near the Aral Sea are constantly suffering because of this scourge. People are prone to allergies and respiratory diseases, and the number of such cases is constantly growing. But domestic scientists have found a successful solution that can reduce the impact of the environmental disaster that threatened the entire region. On the salty bottom of the dried-up Aral Sea, 30 years ago they began to plant black Saksaul tree seedlings. As it turned out, black Saksaul is ideal for planting on salt marshes. It feels comfortable where other plants cannot live. This tree is rightly called the silent guardian of the sand. Settlements could be under the sand in the desert and semi-desert natural areas if this amazing plant hadn't come to the rescue. Where it is, the mobile sands remain fixed. Hundreds of thousands of hectares of Saksaul seedlings have been planted on the dried-up bottom of the Aral Sea over the past 3 decades. Overgrown forests of black Saksaul trees significantly improve the soil properties naturally and restore water infiltration into the soil, which improves the structure of the soil itself. After the soil is fixed with the help of Saksaul forests, other grasses and shrubs will reappear on this territory, and the vegetable coating is restored. Moreover, various wild animals and birds are already nesting in these places since there is more vegetation. Since 1982, in Kazakhstan, phytoforest reclamation works have been carried out. A successful solution is already being developed on an industrial scale. For example, one planted tree reduces the wind speed. The adult black Saksaul tree reaches in height up to 7 meters and has very deep roots that independently reach deep-lying groundwater. On the dry bottom of the Aral Sea, saplings of Saksaul were planted on the area of more than 13,000 hectares, or 1.4 million square meters. Black Saksaul is one of the rare halophyte plants. This is the name of plants that adapt relatively easily to existence of saline soils. Saksaul is perfectly adapted to life in desert and semi-desert areas. The tree performs a soil-strengthening function, restraining the advance of loose sands, a formidable enemy not only for farmland but also for settlements. Now these crops are growing naturally. In nature, every adult tree annually gives 12 to 200,000 seeds that scatter, increasing the area of afforestation naturally. White and black Saksaul grows in almost half of all republics' forests, occupying 48.9% of their area. There are about 6 million hectares of Saksaul forests in the south of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan ranks first in the world in terms of the area in which Saksaul grows. In Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, these figures are much smaller. Kazakhstan can rightfully be considered the cradle of this unique tree. Saksaul is also called a water scout in deserts, where groundwater approaches the surface, grows slender and tall trees. The Saksaul can draw moisture from the depth of about 30 meters. According to statistics, the survival rate of Saksaul seedlings is from 70 to 90%. Therefore, 60 to 70% of seedlings survive even in the absence of watering. Comprehensive developments helped Kazakh scientists to achieve such indicators. It will not be possible to return big water to the Aral Sea. However, stopping the expansion of the desert is a feasible task. Greening the dried-up bottom is the most effective way to combat land desertification. According to the UN, dry land occupies 30% of the Earth's surface in more than 100 countries of the world, where about 2 billion people live. Considering the current rate of desertification, by 2025 every fifth inhabitant of the Earth will live in areas exposed to drought. The flora of the Persian Gulf is sparsely represented, especially in mountainous and hilly areas due to the salinity of the soils, which is a major problem for the greening of the region. Being directly in the zone of subtropical deserts adds another problem, as dry winds. Hence, winds are not uncommon, which are the cause of sandstorms arising from deserts. Based on our own successful experience, we propose to use the Kazakh methodology in combating desertification and sand retention using the natural properties of a unique plant, black Saksaul trees. This is an unpretentious tree that does not require special care and, most importantly, artificial irrigation, and in a short time, it is possible to create Saksaul forests in lifeless desert spaces. The appearance of woodlands will not only improve the local climate, but also reduce the strength of sandstorms, and it will also have a beneficial effect on increasing the frequency of precipitation. Black Saksaul tree has a very deep root system which independently reaches the groundwater even if it lies very deep. Black Saksaul almost does not evaporate moisture. Even if you press your fingers on the shoots, moisture will appear from them. The tree is interesting not only as a forest-forming breed, but also as a forage plant. Sheep and camels willingly eat young shoots of Black Saksaul. The experience of planting Black Saksaul trees on the dried-up bottom of the Aral Sea can be successfully used in the countries of the Persian Gulf. The rich experience of Kazakhstan in this field, associated with the developments collected over 30 years, guarantees a high-quality and effective application of this method in the desert territories of the Persian Gulf for landscaping.